This week, we celebrate a handful of things: a new year, a new opportunity to get better in this thing that we call life. We celebrate the state of Hawaii. We're going to get a live update from Rip's first family vacation over a large body of water. We celebrate feelings and having feelings, from NFL fans to toddlers. Going to do our best to talk through some of this stuff as, the best that we can on the one-star recruits. And, along the way, maybe a couple predictions and maybe a little goal setting. It's going to be a great episode.
Let's go.
Yo, aloha. Welcome to the One Star Recruits podcast. I am DK. I am live in Lahaina, Hawaii with my best friend of 25 years, Rip. We are live completely here in person. What you're hearing in your audio situation, though, is Rip is upstairs right above me in my condo here in Lahaina. I have a downstairs unit, and Rip is currently in the upstairs unit because I can't find my extra microphones. I moved to Hawaii and I displaced all my extra stuff from this beautiful podcast, Rip, that we developed in Costa Mesa, California 2 years ago. And I don't even know where it is. So unfortunately, my goal dream, Rip, of this whole thing was to do a live podcast with you. I'm probably like 24 feet below you. If you took a deuce through the roof, it would probably hit me.
Hey, like I said, man, we're one star, so we always have an excuse for anything that goes wrong. One star organizational skills for you, not being able to find the equipment, but hey, man, it's all good. It's cool to be out here and see your setup in person, how you live your life, and yeah, man, cheers.
Cheers. Welcome, aloha, Rip. It's so great to have you. Okay, 1 stars. I'm gonna give you a quick recap. And Nick B was supposed to be on this podcast because he was the original guy in my life who lived in Maui. He was one of the first ones to ever do it. Just an update how we got here. I moved to here 2 years ago when my wife got a good job opportunity in hospitality. Rip is currently here in Hawaii for his very first time. First and foremost, Rip, is that correct? First time in Hawaii or first time on Maui?
First time in Hawaii. I had a couple of other trips planned that got canceled in the past, but so yeah, this is the first time I've actually been on the islands and on Hawaiian time. Beautiful, man.
Beautiful. Thank you, man. And I said in the intro too, the first time with a family of 4 with 2 boys, 6 and 4, and your beautiful wife Janelle flying over a body of water. That was accurate, right? Yeah, first time.
Yeah, I mean the longest flight they've been on prior to this, I think, is like 60 minutes. So yeah, this being like over 5 hours was definitely looking at a challenge, but everything went well, man. We're loving our vacation so far.
Yeah, you made it. And we're not going to dig into every detail, but I got to know right now, first and foremost, for the listeners, 1 to 5 stars right off the bat. How do you rate my hospitality and my aloha spirit?
5 for sure. But you and your wife is so kind and generous of us to basically, like, I mean, if I could describe this for the listeners, you have a condo. It's a beautiful condo. It's large. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But whenever a family, you guys go from you two and the Togs normally being here, and then our family is just like a tornado coming in, taking over everything. So you guys are so generous to give us 2 of the bedrooms and a bathroom, and my kids 6 and 4, loud as always, loud as ever, loud 24/7 pretty much. And I know it's a disruption to your life, man. So I'm very thankful and grateful for you and your wife to be able to do. You probably saved us honestly like $5,000 from staying at one of these beautiful hotels out here.
The hotels are nuts, and it's my pleasure completely. And the way that it got set up anyway, it always works out. I want to talk more about that. I mean, I'm going to return favor with favor. Thank you. You don't have to say 5 stars. There's a couple 4 stars experiences in there. There's some 1 stars. We'll talk about it. But the return ball of tennis, I'm going to return it back, man. You are a machine beast. You are the Calvin Johnson Megatron of dads. I don't even know. I've kind of lost my mind watching you the last 2 days. I don't even know how you just wrapped up that last 2-hour session into this podcast, bro. Are you taking PEDs? Don't bullshit. Are you on any PEDs?
No, bro, but that's honestly why I started on iced coffee this year, is because, especially at the end of the day, I need something to get me going. And I'm not a coffee every day person, but man, it saps the energy out of you like crazy having these kids.
We like to get better. We like to get better every day. And don't do a gimmick coach talk with us. How in the eye of chaos do you stay patient? Don't bullshit. And I'm just going to quickly describe the eyes of chaos just really quickly. Trying to leave a grocery store, 1 6-year-old yelling out every single San Antonio Spur, and I can't even name a single Spur, and I do a sports podcast, bro. One child yelling out every single San Antonio Spur and their shooting percentage as loud as I can hear. Another kid just refusing to even really get into the car. And my man Rip, you're like a UFC referee, bro. How do you stay so patient?
Part of it, I think, is just being in it for a while now, for 6 years, like you said, and trust me,
What are
there's
you thinking in your
times.
head? Are you thinking just one thing at a time? Are you thinking shut the fuck up? Are you thinking what is you thinking in your inside of your head? Because
Really, it's
outside it seems pretty calm. I only saw a couple of times when I saw like little hit bits where it hits, but otherwise, like you're batting like clean 900% here in calmness. Are you doing self talk at all?
yeah, it's constantly self-talk in your head. It's just practicing restraint and, like you said, patience. And because yeah, there's times where you just want to blow a gasket, but it's always in the back of your head to think that you have to think you're setting an example for these kids, and they really look up to everything you do. So everything they see come out of you, they're going to mimic and practice in the future. So that's always there. But like I said, man, it's human, it's normal and human to have emotions and blowups, but hopefully you can minimize them.
I guess so. This it's not similar, and parents don't get mad at this. But in golf, you before you hit a ball, if you're in your head thinking you're gonna slice it. So I'm thinking I have all kinds of thoughts going on in my head. Is there a word that you use? Do you just like say calm, or do you just you'll get through this? Do you have a phrase? What really is happening between the brain just with words, or is it just fight or flight, get through this moment?
It's really, yeah, just being patient and trying not to blow up. Really, it's just practicing and
Coach speak. All right,
almost
enough.
almost like an internal meditation for a minute. And that's the best way I can describe it, man. Is just yeah, trying not to lose it. It's an easy way to put it.
Holy cow, you got a good sense of humor too. I think both you and your wife have a good sense of humor that is another good diffuser. But you need like 7,000 tools in your tool bag. Like I've watched you pull out. We'll talk a little bit more. Return the favor. You're amazing, man. You're amazing father. I thought I didn't even know 6 and 4. I thought I knew. Let me tell you, listeners, I didn't even know. I had no idea. I want to give you a medal of honor, bro, if I
Thank you,
could.
man. I appreciate it. And it's watching everyone else do the thing too, and following people's examples. And it's funny, I've mentioned to so many people on this trip, you and your wife too, like you can't the trip with kids is so much different than without kids, because if it was just my wife and I here, we would have an entirely different trip. We'd be going out to nice restaurants with you guys and doing hikes and bigger beaches with waves, but everything is just catered toward the kids and it's also a parenting style, man, because we do everything for the kids and very little for us. So it's but yeah, it's a totally different trip with the kids, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit like I don't even know. It feels a little bit like you just subbed out Long Beach with Lahaina and then a couple other additives, but otherwise you're going through it anyway. It feels like home is like this too, bro. Is what my point.
Kind of, yeah. I think the kids are obviously a little more comfortable at their house, and they're a little more independent. But now it's like it's a new environment for them. My littlest one is a little scared of the dogs, and you've been doing a great job of
It's
kind
true.
of
That's
keeping
true.
them away. But it's like so they're always needy and clingy out here for the most part. That's a big difference.
There you go, listeners. There it is. Rips the and he's getting the podcast done. We're gonna get it edited for you. We're gonna try to do a one. We're just let this thing roll because Rip, we don't have a guest this week. I wanted my goal of a live pod over my tie on the lanai is not that, but it still has been an amazing experience, and we still got a couple more days. So thank you, bro. A couple quick things that we did. Nick B was gonna be on the show, and I was gonna have him chime in and rate you 1 to 5. He's not here, so I'm gonna rate you. But a couple of things I want to give you some love on your Hawaii trip here. First of all, Foodland trip. Rip spent 200, quick 200, tried poke and tried musubi. What do you think, Rip? 1 to 5 stars. Foodland experience.
I'd say 4-star for the food, and like you said, the spam musubi and the poke, like known for that. Alohi Gilman a couple years ago, recommended it. He said he grew up on that, but the prices, man, I still can't, because I know inflation, everything's doubled in the past 5 years, and everyone's like, oh, Hawaii is so much more expensive. It is real, man. Everything is so much more expensive out here. Grocery stores, like the $200 Foodland bill would have been like probably 120 at Ralph's, and that's in California, which is not a cheap place to live. But Hawaii is just on another level, as you know.
Bro, and in Kansas. So we hit that. We hit the Foodland. We got laid. Everybody got laid. The Brand family was laid with real lays, real flowers. So DK stepping up the hospitality. Real lays. That has to be a 5-star there just to get them around your neck and get a pick. Rip, got to do that.
5 stars for sure. Like I heard in the past that they would do that at the airport. Everyone that got off a flight, they'd get them laid, but they're not doing it anymore. So it was an awesome surprise from your wife to have that for us. And then the 5-star tip on top of that was put them in the fridge. They'll last longer. And so we even had someone on New Year's Eve dinner at the restaurant try to give us that tip. We're like, we know, come on, we're Hawaiians. We're not Howleys anymore.
The Long Beachians, you guys know about that. Yeah, so everybody got laid. We got Rip caught some waves at Kaanapali Beach. There's a video out there. I don't know if that'll ever hit the airwaves, but you caught some waves, Rip. Congratulations. That was a big thing on your list. Dude, we played some hoops at the Lahaina Civic Center. Good times.
Anywhere you play hoops out here in Hawaii, it seems to be close to the water. So we've hit 2 basketball courts so far. My son and I found another one in Kihei today, all within like 200 yards of the water, which is amazing because you're just staring out at these beautiful islands, these beautiful skies. So the court could be like, they're double rims on both, which is the worst for me. That's total 1-star. But you're staring at this view. How could you ever complain playing basketball in Hawaii?
So fun, and your oldest loves basketball. He's so fun to play with. It's nice seeing the energy and joy of somebody that young with hoops, and then the fact that we got to get out there on the court. Some other Hawaiians were playing out there. Worked out a sweat. Very fun, Rip. For breakfast, my man Rip had a short rib moco loco plate. So listeners out there, that's y'all know, but it's a moco loco. So you got yourself rice, gravy, and then in this case you have some short rib, fried egg, a little bit more gravy, some green onion. What's the verdict on that one, bro?
Dude, first Moco Loco experience. I honestly, this is 1-star, pure Howley. I didn't know there was gravy involved. I love gravy, but it's like the thing you eat that makes you feel the fattest. I think like and most like out of shape. So, but the actual meal, I'll give a 4-star to, just because I'm not a huge gravy guy. But that thing was it's very unique and it's very delicious.
Heavy for breakfast. A lot of rice goes into all the Hawaiian meals, but man, I got to give you that. That's the love circle. Well, that's the Hawaii experience so far. The original plan, listeners, I'm going to let you know the 1-star move by my man, Nick B. We got that text about an hour before recording. So we had all kinds of games planned. So instead, it's just going to be a big love fest on this podcast. I mentioned in the intro, I don't even know how to fully talk about this, Rip. The entire football and beyond the football community, probably like me and like you, have had their stomach in a knot since Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field during the first quarter of the Bills-Bengals game in Cincinnati, Ohio. The game was suspended. It was surreal. I was actually in the upstairs unit at the time. Riff was downstairs. You were actually watching the game with your 6-year-old.
No, I was up there. I was up there with you. Remember,
you were up there with me. We got the text and you came down. So I guess that's my first question. How do you explain that to your 6-year-old, what he watched?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because we were both up here in the upstairs unit, and my wife texted me. She said, I think Wesley might have just saw someone die on the field. And I was like, oh, it must be a concussion, and next thing she texted about 60 seconds later was they're on the field giving him CPR. And when that text came through, I was like, oh man, this is different. So we went downstairs and kind of saw the thing unfold, get suspended. And just difficult to explain to the kid because he's been watching football for a while, but not in tune with all the concussion stuff. And you try to keep that out of it, right now because he's only 6. But it's like, why is the game suspended? When are they going to restart it? And just all those questions. And it's like, man, this guy's really hurt. He's in the hospital right now. Everyone's praying for him. And the game doesn't really matter right now. It's just all about Damar Hamlin and hoping he's able to recover and get back to a normal life.
It's great. Good parenting. Yeah. It's, I thought it was maybe an opportunity too, to talk a little bit about feelings and what the players might've been feeling in those moments and what that means. I mean, I'm not sure right now, one of my dogs is stressed out, maybe stressed out because Rip's kids are here. The maniacs running around. Maybe she's super sick again. My dog with some health issues, and my feelings get involved the same way when the Hamlin thing happened, even that today, when I'm recognizing her not feeling well. And, it's one of those situations where you got to kind of work through that. You still got to go about your day. You still got to go to work. You still got to get your kids to school. Is that, Rip, just talking about feelings with your kids, maybe your 4-year-old, and things like maybe animals passing away or a player getting CPR. Is feelings brought up in those conversations, or is this pretty cut and dry at this age for you and your parenting schedule?
No, it's always good to bring up feelings. Like I said, when when I lose it, or when someone has a meltdown or whatever, it's totally fine to say these are normal human emotions, and you don't want to stunt their emotions, so you want them to be able to feel what's happening and react to it like they would if it was close to them or if it wasn't. So yeah, always important to bring up feelings, and probably something that my parents didn't do very well, but
Yeah.
I think it helps them in the long run.
Oh, it's such a good thing. I think, yeah. And those are the things where you got to work through too. They might be even the harder conversations as well. I think kind of the NFL put that front and foremost, and our thoughts with that. How are you feeling about the whole situation? I mean, it doesn't matter. Not even to say the next part, but something important to you was on the line with that game. Doesn't matter though. But how are you feeling just generally?
Yeah, man, honestly, like I wasn't even thinking about the fantasy football part of it. It kind of crossed my mind, a couple hours later. But at first, it's like, man, this is such a scary thing for him, his teammates. I know his family was at the game, and just, I've never seen a player die. Like, I mean, it doesn't happen. I think it's happened a couple of times in like boxing or a couple other sports, but even UFC, I don't think this ever really happened. So it's something you're just hoping he can come out of it the best, and something that they need to. I don't know. I know it's a rare experience and this and that, but it's it's football, man. It's a crazy sport, so it's just a reminder that anything can happen in that sport.
I mean, anything can happen in tennis. Anything can happen sometimes, but in football, it's a conversation for a different podcast. Rip, remind me that I want to have this conversation, but I think prediction show. I think over time, football is going to continue to change into a sport that we definitely didn't realize going to Sun Devil Stadium, growing up watching it, for the better. But I
The
don't.
thing that made me threw me back to a little bit was Hank Gathers from Loyola Marymount when he collapsed on the court, because that was a hard issue too. Not a result of a hit or anything like that, but it's and it could happen out walking your dogs. It could happen anywhere, as far as just having a heart issue. But yeah, just seeing that was the result of a hard hit to the chest, football played a part in it.
Yeah. Robert Goodell, the light's back on you with that. I mean, hopefully we can find some solutions, but it's real to real life. Real life comes to football. Real life comes to your TV screen through football in that moment. It wasn't just your kids, Rip. It's probably kids all over the country now talking about that stuff. So, what do we say, Rip? Godspeed, DeMar Hamlin. Prayers. Hopefully we can get it back to 100% and we can learn some lessons from this, what we do on this podcast. And I wanted to talk more NFL, but I'm not gonna. That's it. It was a kind of just a surreal night. Kind of the whole night just kind of bled together a little bit. I know we had some delicious pizza and hung out here on my lanai. But it's just one of those nights, every once in a while we get them.
Yeah, it's one of those things you're checking your phone for updates every hour. And, even today I was kind of surprised with the lack of updates coming out, but it's just showing that it's a touch and go situation still. And, you're hoping for the best and hoping he is able to breathe on his own soon and get back to normal. So we'll see, man.
We'll
Prayers up.
see. We'll see. Prayers up. Godspeed. Okay. All right. I'll give you a choice. You want to do a 1-star moment of the week, or you want to do a quick NBA hot corner?
Let's do 1-star moment of the week because it kind of goes with my vacation theme. I know you probably got one. Hopefully yours involves my kids doing something, but yeah, let's do 1-star moment of the week.
All right. Mine first. We went to Lahaina Civic Center with Rip's kid, who is a basketball savant from the apparently if like a G League team's looking for somebody who might be really great at analytics, I think I found one. Early put a contract out, but also very good at basketball itself. So I'm gonna have to have a 1-star moment myself for literally getting beaten one-on-one by a 6-year-old. He also beat me in around the world, which I was fully trying 100%. And a 1-star moment myself because I also completely swatted a stranger, a sweet kid who may have been no older than 13 or 14, tried to bring a weak ass layup into the paint, got rejected like Oliver Miller in 1992. Nobody saw it except for Wes, who did give me some respect in the car the next day. No easy buckets, but all 1-star moment of myself. I never even talked to the kid or said anything before I swatted him. Luckily, we got a good laugh out of it. 1-star moment of the week, though.
literally we pulled up to the court. There's this, like DK said, there's this sweet 15-year-old kid shooting jump shots. Like, hey, can we shoot around? It was the only court open. There's only one person on the court. It's like, oh yeah, sure. Within the next like 90 seconds, the kid just goes in for a layup. He's not expecting any defense, just a layup. DK just swats him out of nowhere. A 15-year-old kid that he just met.
I fucked up. I should have told you, Rip, I was gonna do it because it would have been great for the social media. It's a 1-star moment, but it was calculated. I wouldn't have done that to. I don't know if that was profiling, maybe, but we both got a laugh. It's all good. He played a little around the world with us afterwards before he had to go. So all good fun.
He also left like within 5 minutes after that. So I think he's probably scared you're gonna kick his ass or something like that.
Most likely, but yeah, shout out to your kid's corner 3.5-foot jumper game, man. That's his sweet spot.
Yeah, he's using the little ball right now, but burying him on the 10-foot rim. So he's stepping up every inch he grows. He's getting better and making more shots.
Also, listeners, if you know anybody who has any hookups at the Orlando Magic, youngster happens to be one of the biggest Banchero fans out there in the city of Long Beach. So if you got any connections out there with the Orlando Magic, bring them to Rip. Let's do some connections. Who in Long Beach has that jersey shirt? You know what I mean, Rip?
He's probably the only one west of Mississippi. But I'll tell you what, if they get the French Freak, if they get Wembanyama next year, that team's going to be loaded and his head is going to explode. Like I want to tape the reaction at the draft when they pick Wembanyama if they get him. We'll see.
We'll see. He might end up with the New York Knicks. Onward. What's your 1-star moment of the week, Rip?
Mine involves this vacation a little bit, and that we have someone watching our house and our dog right now. It's our old nanny back in Long Beach, and she's back for another trip to the U.S. But so she's watching the house, and we told her, and obviously this trip covered New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. So we told her, we're like, if you want to have, your friend over the house on New Year's Eve, she's really close with this one girl. We know who the girl is. We trust her. So she's like, oh yeah. She's like, I think it's going to be raining. So we'll probably just stay at the house. And so I'm like, all right. So anyway, I see New Year's Eve pops up where they're 2 hours ahead of us. Like everyone knows, California's 2 hours ahead of Hawaii. And I see all these Ring video doorbell alerts popping up on New Year's Eve, and I'm like, all right, let me check these out. You don't even know this, DK, because I haven't told you, but so I start checking these Ring videos out. So the girl comes that we know. She has 3 friends with her. I see all kinds of bags in their hands. So she's like, oh yeah, Happy New Year, letting them in. It's like, all right. She had a couple more people over. It's all good. They're all friends and everything. And I don't think she'd bring anyone to the house she didn't trust. 10 minutes later, I see this couple arrive. Never seen in my life. This guy and this girl, probably 25, 30 years old. Ring the doorbell. Sure enough, they have more alcohol and bags and everything. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? She looks like she's having a party for sure, New Year's Eve party. And so, 20 minutes later, I see more people come up. So at this point, there's like 10 people at my house for New Year's Eve. That I have no idea who they are. Probably full party going on. I didn't get any reports from the neighbors yet, but I'm gonna ask when I get home. So 1-star moment of the week, man. There was an unapproved New Year's Eve party at our house, and we'll see if we get the story when we get back home. But yeah, it was a little awkward seeing that on the Ring camera, and hopefully the house is still in one piece.
Any chance it could have been an orgy? Any chance at all?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Open season at this point. It's like our dog is there, and she's the only fly on the wall. But maybe she'll start talking to us when we get home.
If dogs could talk all over the world, what would they say? Sweet Lord, everybody keeps their dog in their bedroom. Those poor dogs. Well, Rip, that is, though, you should when you're watching the dog that comes with the territory. Have a couple people over, have some pizza. All good. I know it's gonna be all good, but it would be awesome if that was a huge orgy that broke out and your neighbors let you know. So stay tuned. Stay tuned next week. Well, shit. How about Rex of the week? So we'll keep it flowing here. We do recommendations of the week, listeners. Anything that made us feel good. Obviously, we've been spreading love this whole episode because we're here with the Aloha spirit, hanging out. Something cool that I found out that I think will help a lot of people. It's a small thing. The caveat is it only applies to iPhones, I believe. So sorry, Android users, but maybe this does work. Tell me if I'm wrong. A couple listeners in Arizona, our guy A Lamb, a couple comedian Adam might have an Android, right? Does he? Rip.
No, he's got an iPhone.
Oh, he's got that iPhone. He seems like an Android guy. And he took big L's in fantasy football this year. Now that I'm thinking about him, I'm just gonna put it on the podcast, let it be known into the airwaves. But look, the iPhone users have okay. So Rip's flight was flying in, and I wanted to be on time. He's coming with his family, his two kids, crazy long flight. And I got nervous, pulled out my iPhone. I was like, ah, shit. He sent me like a screenshot of like a Delta flight. But Rip, you sent me a whack screenshot. I didn't have, they had like the stuff, but not the stuff. I didn't even know what fully airline it was. I could have figured it out. DL was the beginning of the thing. So I could have maybe figured it out. Nevertheless, the I got a little frustrated. I was like, I got to find this. So I pull up Google, it's search tracker. I'm going back. I go back to go get the information and I hold it. And when you hold just the screen, the little information grab icon comes up in the bottom right. And if you press that, live flight info, just like the flight info when you're sitting on the plane and you hit the button that says, show me my plane. And you can look at that. I look at that all the fucking time. I love that thing. I fucking watch that more than the movies. I love it. In the iPhone, any screenshot. So Rip sent me a generic Delta one. It pulled all the relevant information, tapped it, took me right there, live shot. Guess what? His plane was coming in 30 minutes early. Your boy was on it, left a little bit early. So if you need to, if anybody's tracking flights by still Googling flight tracker and then having to go back and look at the stuff and then put it back in, no more. Touch, hold, click, live version like you're sitting on the Delta middle section. You're welcome.
It's really amazing. You showed me this live after I arrived, and there was some other screenshot we're looking at where it had a bunch of like countries' flags on it, and you zoom in on a flag and you pop it up, and it'll bring you information about the country and just random stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't know that about iPhones, so it's if you have any screenshots and with details in them, you can easily find information out about it.
Just hold it. No, it's no. Oh shit, I don't know where I'm going with that. I had a good point to make, and then I got my frame of mind lost. Thank you though, Rip, for supporting it. It's a good little. I lost it again. Double lost. We're gonna go with no edit on this podcast, so keep it rolling. 1-star recommendation of the week, Rip. Something that made you feel good, man.
1-star recruits, 5-star recommendation of the week for me is something I kind of reintroduced to you this week during our stay. And, my wife and I have been rolling with this for 6 years now, is white noise and sleeping with white noise, because we've done it since birth for our kids. We have a small house, and any noise like a dog barking or, someone walking down the hallway a little loud or taking a shower could easily wake up the kids. So we've been rolling with white noise right next to their bed for their whole lives now. And when I sleep with them, and sometimes I'll wake up at night and I'll have to crash with them or whatever, but it's a beautiful time sleeping with white noise. That's my recommendation of the week, even for adults. If you have trouble sleeping or easily wake up from outside noises, it's pro and con. Pros is you'll get a great night's sleep. Cons is if if someone invades your home, you have a home invasion or a robbery or something bad happens, you're
Yeah.
probably going to sleep through that thing. But if you if you live in a safe neighborhood and shit's not happening, there's fireworks outside, you want to get a good night's sleep, get that white noise machine. It's like $15 from Amazon. It'll change your life, DK.
It was like a war zone on the bedrooms facing in my condo facing the mountain here on New Year's. And you white noised it up. I know you got through it. Did the kids sleep through it?
100%. The Hawaii fireworks on New Year's Eve are on another level. It's like probably the craziest in the United States. And yeah, it was right outside your window. White noise was on full blast. Kids did not wake up. I did not wake up. I saw videos the next day of the fireworks on this island. I was like, wow, where was I at? I was asleep, man. That shit, white noise is legit, DK.
It's legit, man. Well, I got a couple more places I want to take you to. I want to go take you to Paella Fish Company, get you some. I know you like Long John Silver, so I got to get you some deep fried shrimp and all that good stuff still. So trip is still on. Listeners, you got any good stuff? Hit us up on social media. We should check out. I know I've been here, but Rip seen me now. My life is not Hawaii exciting. I have a decent tan. But I am not doing as many activities that I like to do. So I'm always open to learn more stuff. I'm doing golf and tennis for the most part, as 1 star as you could probably get. Because it's an ocean place. Rip got out there. Rip, I haven't seen you get in the ocean like that and flop around since you got sucked into the tide in La Jolla in 1997.
It was nice, man. The water out here is so warm and beautiful, and the waves aren't crazy where we've been at. And compared to the water in California, it's cold as shit, dirty, big waves. And so yeah, it was nice, man. We're going back tomorrow, one of our last days of the vacation. Yeah, the beaches here, like
You don't
everyone
gotta say
knows,
dirty. Like
unbeatable.
you don't gotta say dirty like that though. I think they threw a
The
dirty.
water, it's if you look at the rating levels, there's always sewage spills in the Los Angeles County. You don't even want to get in that water. Oil spills. I mean, everything. It's Hawaii's beautiful, bro. You know it.
Hey, 2023 is right around the corner. I'm glad I got to celebrate it with you and your family. What blessing, man. I mean, what a blessing to get to experience this with your kiddos. And I applaud it. It's no joke. Parents out there, you're laughing at me because you're like, DK is a dummy. He shouldn't eat. He doesn't even get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I won't get it till I'm in it. But I want to crown all you guys. It's amazing. Give us 5 stars if you're a parent. You know what I mean? You just, if you're a parent, give us 5 stars because we love you. If Rip, let's do it. Let's just finish this pod. I want to do a little prediction. I'm not going to do it, but we can even start playing the music right now, and you can talk right on over it. I don't even care. Donovan Mitchell has 71 points this week. I think Clay had 56 this week. Really, Rip, if you don't drop 50 plus, Giannis had 50 again tonight. If you don't drop 50, does it mean we're even watching? Are we just watching a couple dudes launch threes the whole game? The Warriors shot 58 threes in a win versus the Hawks. It's a franchise record for the Warriors, which is crazy. It seems like they're launching threes all over the place. Thumbs up or thumbs down on 71-point games?
It's thumbs up because it's entertaining as hell to watch, but I think it's just another result of the further demise of defense in the NBA. You know, I got some guys, Miguel out there who defends it all the time, says people still play defense, but come on, man, guys are scoring 50 every other night at this point. In the last week, I've seen 3 purposely missed free throws to either tie or win games. I mean, I hadn't seen that in like 5 years. So I think the game is changing more, and it's just becoming more and more unbalanced toward the offensive side. So, you know, back in the 80s or even 90s, like Luka's not scoring 60. Someone's going to hack him and hurt him. You know,
Julius Randle out here scoring 60 like it ain't no thing. This is getting out of hand. I'm in it for the entertainment, but I don't know if it's winning, if it's sustainable. Hit the music, Rip. Let's play out of this. While the music's playing, I'm going to throw a couple teams at you. Just tell me where they finished this year, 2023. Hit the music. Let's end this podcast. I love you, bro. Denver Nuggets.
Second place in the West behind Memphis.
Lakers.
10th place in the West. They sneak into the play-in, and it's an entertaining play-in. We'll see.
They don't blow it up. Lakers don't blow it up. Clippers.
4th place in the West. The Clippers are at full strength finally for the first time in a long time, and they're playing well. They're good.
Phoenix Suns.
8th place in the West in the play-in against the Lakers. Everybody can't win. I think the Suns are actually going to lose in the play-in, DK. Sadly, they got too many injuries. They're too old. Time to rebuild.
Jay Crowder, I mentioned him for Julius Randle. Let's take that money on, baby. Just blow it up. Wembanyama, Boston.
Getting back to the finals, DK. Boston's legit. I want to see my kid happy. He's a huge Celtics fan. They're going to go back. They're going to run it back in the NBA Finals this year.
I knew you were going to say that. Shout out to Worldwide. Philly, last one. Philly.
Same as the last few years. 3rd, 4th in the West. Second round exit at the hands of the Bucks, Nets, or Celtics. Philly needs to blow it up too.
I know the music's playing and nobody's even listening anymore, but the Washington Wizards going to blow it up. Kyle Kuzma, you'll be a Phoenix Sun. Enjoy your time in Phoenix, my man, on a rental basis. Wembanyama, enjoy Washington, D.C. See you next week.
See you next week.